What's up, guys? Welcome back to yet another riveting episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. And today I kind of want to talk a little bit more about my boondocking experience since I've been out here in the desert Southwest. The first thing that I want to just mention is that boondocking is not exactly what you think when you first start off. Like, I was always under the impression that it was just going to be absolutely miserable, at least compared to like campground camping. You know, I've said many times in the past that I'm, you know, pretty used to being outdoors, going backpacking and hammock camping and stuff like that. I'm not afraid of the elements or anything, but, you know, when you're dragging around this much weight behind you or, you know, with you, you don't really want to just be suffering out there in these boondocking locations. I mean, at least I know that I don't. And I've noticed here, at least in the last little bit, that every time that I find a location that I really like, a lot of times I'll just go, you know what, I really enjoy this area. I'm really having a good time in this area. And then I just want to stay in that area. I go and I check it out. Like, a lot of times it'll take me a couple of days to actually check a place out, evaluate it, go, okay, well, that spot's a little bit better. Maybe I'll move my rig over there. And a lot of times I do. A lot of times I'll get there at first and I'll go, good enough, I'm just tired, I'm ready to go to bed, or I'm ready to eat and chill out for the rest of the day. And then when I wake up the next day and I'm refreshed, I hop on my Segway and I'm just kind of like riding around. And I kind of look at all my different options. And I'm like, okay, now I found what I'm really looking for. So that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go camp in that place. I'm like, okay, the spot right there. And you might do that for a numerous amount of reasons. You might go, okay, well, it's a little bit more level, or maybe it's got a better view, or maybe the road isn't as rutted. Maybe it's a bit more private and secluded, and that way you can, you know, have a bit more privacy from the rest of the campers that might be coming into that area, if any campers come into that area. I've kind of noticed that a lot of places that I go, there aren't many campers around. I mean, as you can see, there's nobody here. And then usually, for me at least, it takes maybe a day or two to kind of determine whether or not I really want to stay in that area. Are there, you know, is there good internet? Is there conveniences nearby, like a Walmart or grocery stores or gas stations? Are there attractions nearby that I would really like to visit? So maybe this would be a good enough camp spot that I would want to drop the trailer and take the truck into town and go do those attractions, whether it be like your national parks, maybe there's a really cool hiking trail, maybe an awesome cave nearby. You make some evaluations as to how much do you want to make that place home for the next week, maybe two. And generally, that is what will help me to determine whether or not I'm going to put out all of my accessories, whether I'm going to put out my, you know, camping, you know, rug out here in front of the camper. It also determines whether or not I'm going to set up my clam or not. It's also going to determine whether I'm going to pull out all of my little knickknacks and stuff, my little flower pots and my pictures and my little paintings and all that kind of stuff. Because the shorter amount of time that I'm going to be in a place, the less I'm going to homey my place up. But if I know that I'm really enjoying a location, then I'm going to try to, I don't know, make it a little bit more convenient, make it a little bit more homey, and really kind of expand my camping area just a bit more. Obviously, having solar has become, you know, a huge game changer, at least for me, because I don't have to be hooked up to anything. And when you have a camper like this, where you have a freshwater tank, a gray tank, a black tank, the whole 9 yards, you're able to just stay out much longer. You don't have to worry about taking your rig back into town on a more regular basis in order to, I don't know, refill your water or, you know, refill your gas for your generator. You just don't have to do all those tedious little things as much. You genuinely can do more camping and less camp preparations. The thing of it is that, like, everyone camps differently. Everyone has a different style. Everyone does it a different way. Everyone has their own particular idiosyncrasies that, you know, okay, well, I like to put my chair over here as opposed to over here, or, you know, I really like to run the generator during the day so that I have air conditioning, the whole thing. But every location is going to have its own sets of challenges. So if you're over there in the eastern side of the United States, you're going to have a whole lot more rain. You're going to have a whole lot more humidity. You're going to want to run your air conditioner more to help make it feel not as wet on the inside. That was always my problem being east of the Mississippi. And then when I came out here to the west, it was more a matter of how much airflow can I get, you know, just in order to keep the air kind of moving. But then you have a lot of dust and stuff inside your camper, so you're kind of dusting things more often. You're sweeping your floor more often. It's kind of like being in Florida. The sand just is always getting inside your camper. But the problem for me ends up becoming, it's like, after I've been at a place for a significant amount of time, I really start to believe that that place has kind of become my home. Like it's the place that I live. Like, you know, you really start to go, oh, okay, this is my yard. And like, you know, you start looking at people weird when they start driving up, like, what do you think you're doing here? You know, like you get that attitude, I swear. And you're like, oh, I hope they don't camp too close, or, oh, I hope they don't stay very long, or whatever it is. You're always just kind of like, dude, you're in my yard. Obviously, it's not my yard, or your yard for that matter. But ultimately, you have to start going through the long process of, then you have to break everything down. You have to pull up your rug. You have to break down your outdoor shelter. You know, whatever preparations you've made to make your camp more homey. Take down the knickknacks, take the flower pots and put those somewhere else. You know, there is some preparation. You got to start putting all of your accessories away, securing them, putting them in their cabinets, putting them in their drawers, making sure that nothing shifts around while you move. But eventually, you have to move. Most of these boondocking locations have anywhere between, I've seen 14-day stay limit, I've seen 15-day stay limit, and in Utah, I've even seen 16-day stay limits. And there is a little part of you that's like, oh man, I don't want to leave. I really want to stay. You know, I don't really care what the next location looks like. But for me, there's this sense of adventure that as soon as I get done packing all my stuff up and I get everything tucked away and nice and secure and I get back out on the road, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Like you can start to feel that sense of adventure all over again. And either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. I know that a lot of places that I go, when I first get there, I'm like, oh my God, I hate this location. I was at a location recently and it was just like really fine powdery dust. It was just awful. Like the location itself was good. I had gorgeous views in every direction, but right outside the camper, it was nothing but like powdery, like confectioner sugar dust. And it just was everywhere. I couldn't stay. I stayed one night, packed up immediately the next morning, and then went on to the next spot. But when you're leaving, you know, you really have this kind of like saddened sense of, oh, I'm leaving my, you know, home for the last, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. And it was really gorgeous. It was really beautiful. I made a lot of memories there. I had a lot of fun there. I did a lot of this there. I did, you know, you start to attach. And I think that's the reason why most people kind of settle down and get a house, because they like to have that homey feel where, you know, they've made memories in their yard. But I would also like to counter that concept by saying that you can have an amazing life. You can have a hugely memory-filled life doing this. And when you get there and you've set up camp and you've enjoyed yourself, you can make as many memories there, if not more, than you could in a home. When you leave, yes, it is sad. It is a little heartbreaking to go, oh, I've really had an amazing time in this location. I've really had a lot of fun. But as soon as you get back out on the road, you feel that sense of adventure again. It is just like a whole new experience. And I think that for us digital nomads, that is what it's all about. It's about new experiences. At least I know it is for me, and I'm always pretty excited when I know that I'm finally ready to pack up and move to greener pastures. At any rate, guys, thanks so much for watching yet another riveting episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I'm going to see you guys again on the next one. Peace. Be like me.